welcome to my channel today. I'm going to be working with my Wild Hare Kit for September, and I'm going to be working with a fun cut file that I created on my silhouettes. You'll see it in a minute. Now, I did end up backing my cut file with that gorgeous paper that was in my kit from Maggie Holmes Carousel. I know, I said I was going to use it on a page and turn it sideways, and I had all these really cool ideas. But in the end, it just worked so well, the ombre, with this cut file that I just could not resist using it. So when I flip this over, you'll see the cut file, and I'm just backing it with strips of that paper. And the cut files that I'm using are mostly from the cut shop. There is some wording at the top to make my title. When I flip it over, you'll see what I mean. See, look, I had to use it. Look how perfect it is. It looked too nice. I was looking at all the papers to back this cut file, and I had to have that one. I'm sorry. But maybe I'll get another sheet of that paper, and I'll do the thing, switching it sideways, because I still really think that would be so cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the negative pieces of the cut file to fill in the parts that I need. So like the middles of the peas and the middles of the waves, and you'll see that here in just a minute. But yeah, I really love how this turned out, and I'm going to go ahead, and I did end up adding some of the pink to the layout at the bottom, and we're going to pull that through the layout in a little bit, just with some tiny little embellishments. So as you can see here, I'm just filling in the open spaces on the cut file. I do this quite often. I'm a big fan of using every part of a cut file, as much of it as you possibly can use on a page. And I actually kept all the words and all of the other pieces from this cut file and put them in a glassine bag for another use. So like that little set of waves and all that. And I find if I just cut my files in white, that means that I can color them up myself. So as you can see here, I put the waves in, and then I'm just filling in those negative pieces to make sure that my design is complete. So that splash, that little waves, the big waves at the bottom, that's all from the cut shop. And then I went into my fonts for the Splish and just kind of put it into my silhouette machine to help with my title, because I knew exactly what I wanted my title to be. So now I'm going to go ahead and go through my embellishments here, decide which ones I'm going to use, and I decide that I want to do a little bit of manual die cutting. So I have this super cute metal die. It's like a little bubble, a little set of bubbles. It's so adorable, cute. And I'm going to use it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it twice out of some of the offcuts from that ombre paper to create some embellishments. And I actually end up getting like serious mileage out of these die cuts, which you'll see in a minute. I'm going to do 2 of them. So I have been absolutely loving my manual die cutter. I'm a little late to the manual die cutting party. I had a silhouette and never really felt like I needed a manual die cutter, and so I finally bit the bullet when my when Spiegel Mom Scraps stopped selling felt clouds, because I was like, oh, I need felt clouds. So yeah, I bought. It started with that, and I do have a die set now that will cut the felt clouds. And I know where to get felt and all that, so that's really awesome. But as you can see here, so I have the positive part of the die cut, and then I'm going to pull all of those little circles out of the negative part of the die cut, and I'm going to use those around my layout as well. So lots, incredibly useful die cut this is. It's really, really cute, and it's one of my absolute favorites. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut a second die cut with all those little bubbly circles, and I'm going to go ahead and separate them out. Now I'm going to use a 6x6 pad 6x6 paper that came in my kit. It's from Shimmel's Little by Little collection, and I'm going to use it to kind of map my photos together. These photos are both of my youngest son. The one day he said, he just out of the blue one afternoon was like, my dog smells, I'm giving him a bath. And I let him because I'm one of those mothers that thinks that, you know, activity of any sort is better than video games. So if your kid says, I want to bathe my dog, all for it. And yes, then it did require that I clean my shower, but that's all right. So I'm just going to tuck in these little pieces to each side, and I'm going to use my T-square ruler to make sure everything is neat and tidy. And I love the circle die because it's like little bubbles, like little bath bubbles. It's so cute. So here I am using that T-square ruler because this layout has a very vertical design to it, and I wanted to make sure that my vertical design didn't look wonky. So I'm just going to go ahead and tuck in those die cuts. And yeah, I'm going to continue with my layout. I am sorry, my son's fighting a cold. He's in the next room, but he's 17 and he's so loud. So even though he's covering his mouth, the coughs and the sneezes are like Herculean, and I'm sure they're coming through on my mic. So I took some extra pieces of this camera paper, and I'm just going to do a little strip at the top and bottom just to pull that pattern through the layout, and also makes a nice resting spot for some embellishments. I am someone who is a big fan of using all the scraps, as you can see, because if you watch my channel, you know, like I use every little bit of cut files, and you know, I did all those metal die cuts, and I kept all the little circles too, and things like that. I think it's kind of like a fun, kind of challenging thing to do. I'm sorry for my frizzy hair, really frizzy hair. It happens. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab the thickers that came in my kit, and I'm going to go ahead and finish up my title. I love these thickers. There's so many of them. They're fabulous for titling. So next up, I'm going to grab a date stamp to date my photo, and then I'm going to find a little corner to do just a touch of journaling with my Muji pen. And I'm going to go ahead and take the time to use my T-square ruler just to keep that nice linear line going, so there's no wonky lines or, you know, hilly writing. So I'm going to go ahead and just add that journaling, and now what I want to do is I'm going to add some of the flare that came into my kit, one at the top and one at the bottom, just for a different texture that's not paper, because there won't be too much other kinds of texture on this layout, so I wanted to make sure. I always like to add a little bit of cork or flare or enamel dots or something not paper to all of my layouts. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of these little bubbles around, the same way that I would sprinkle, say, a sequin. Not so much an enamel dot. I like a more limited amount of enamel dots on a layout, but I will throw sequins all over the place. So that's kind of how I'm treating them, like a sequin. And I want this layout to be kind of messy and bubbly. I want the idea that he is in the tub with his dog, wearing his swim trunks, just, you know, the idea that he's giving his dog a bath, but not, it really was, this was in July, it was hot. I think it was more for fun than anything else. And fortunately, our dog Cooper's a really good sport. So since I have that little bit of pink at the bottom, I'm pulling in 2 pieces of chipboard. I'm kind of going to make a diagonal line across my page with the light pink chipboard from my kit, just to pull the pink in and around a little bit. And then I really wanted to add this piece of chipboard that says, "Let's talk about this," because our puppy Cooper's face in that second photo is just like, seriously, Mom, you're letting him do this to me? But really, it was okay. It was fun. Our dog is a very good sport. So that will complete this layout. Be sure to check out the Wild Hare Kits and get yourself a wonderful curated kit just for you. Have a great day. Bye.